Select your character.
Here we go. Here's my boy. He's my boy right here. This is what I've been looking forward to this one.
Here I come, Sonic!
Oh, I'm so excited. This is my Foxy boy. Tails my boy. He's my homie. So much I get to talk about with this one.
Everything's working great! All systems go, full speed ahead!
I always love this image of Tails in his plane flying. Apparently he really loves biplanes too.
Uh-oh!
I like this. I like this plane. We never really see it again. You can kind of tell that Tails built it himself, and like it's just like a test plane because it's not painted or anything yet. I also love that Tails, like, he's really a big fan of open air cockpits. Apparently,
Out of control! Mayday! Mayday!
all of his planes have open air cockpits.
Ah!
I mean, it makes sense because like.
Hello!
When you're going on adventures or whatever, and you gotta like hop in and out of your plane super fast, depending on what you gotta do, it makes sense to be like, well, you don't need the extra hassle of having to open up the cockpit container, right? And here, you remember how Sonic's first level was going through and rescuing Tails at the end. Tails skips that entire level because he needs to be saved. I think that's great. You wake up and it's the end of Sonic's first level.
Boy, you're lucky I saw you come.
That really, like re-establishes where the relationship is at
It's not like you to crack
at
like
this
that.
point in the game.
Yeah, it's just that I'm testing a new prototype power supply, and it's not fully compatible yet.
You can always borrow my plane, the Tornado, if you want.
Don't tell me what to do, Sonic!
Sonic, but if I can make this work, it'll run circles around yours. Check out this power supply!
It's a Chaos Emerald! No way!
I was lucky to find one of the 7 Chaos Emeralds. They have unlimited mystic powers.
Mystic
now
powers.
I want to harness that power to fly my plane. Let's go to my workshop in the Mystic Ruins, and I'll show you what I've been working on. We'll go to the station, hop on a train, and
get there in no time. Oh, Tails, you're so adorable. That's kind of a funny, like, utility for the Chaos Emeralds. It's always kind of funny how, like, so rarely do characters actually have a use in mind for the emeralds, besides, like, I need all 7 for this nefarious purpose. You rarely see them using one emerald for any kind of real actual purpose. They always end up, like, just putting it in a bank or a museum or something weird like that. Just keeping it in storage. It really reestablishes where the relationship is at in this game. At this point, Tails is still very much the boy wonder kid sidekick who gets in distress and needs to be saved. I mean, his story starts out with him crashing his plane and needing to be rescued by Sonic. Sonic is still the hero, and Tails needs to be saved by his hero. And like they're buddies. Tails is Sonic's little buddy, and like he hangs out with them and goes on adventures with them. But it's still a very much like superior subordinate, not like subordinate, but like superior Kyodai senpai kind of relationship, you know? Whatever. Here's Tails' first upgrade.
Look, it's your
which is
anklet.
very
Its
optional,
jet power makes you
by
fly
the way.
faster.
All the characters have like optional upgrades. I missed Knuckles' one with like yellow gloves or something like that. I can never find that one because it's in the woods somewhere. Anyway, I really like how Tails controls in this game, and it makes me sad because this is the only game. This is the only 3D game where Tails controls this way, and it bums me out because, once again, this game really plays a lot like a Genesis game in 3D. Look at the way he moves around. Look at his running animation when he's at full speed. Looks like the running animation from the Genesis games. And, like, he builds up speed where he looks like a little kitsune running around with his tail spinning I love the effect of making the tails look like they're spinning really fast by just having like a mirror image of them. Like that. And then he runs really fast, or he's just flying forward like that. It really looks like how the sprite looks in the game, but in 3D. And he can jump, and you hold down the jump button and he flies around. And here in this 3D game, he has a melee attack where you press the X button on the Xbox 360 here, and he does a little tail spin. And if you run forward and press the attack button while he's at full speed like this, he'll ball up into a ball and roll forward like that, just like how in the old Genesis games, where when you were running, you could press down and he would fly forward in a ball like that. And I'm pointing all this out now because we're really not going to see any of these mechanics put into any use during any of his like levels, really. Because of the way his levels work, he's not very combat oriented. And it bums me out that none of the other 3D games really have Tails play like this. This is the only game where Tails plays like he did in Sonic 3, but in 3D. Sonic Adventure goes in a completely different direction with it. Sonic Heroes gets kind of gimmicky about it. We don't talk about Sonic 06, and then none of the other 3D games you can even play as Tails at all. And I miss this, man. I love how Tails plays in Sonic Adventure. I love Tails. He's so little. Like some of the other 2D games, like the Sonic Advance games, you can play as Tails and he plays fun, but it's in 2D, it's not in 3D like this, and it's so fun to run around as Tails like this. But anyway, I'm just taking the time to show off his gameplay now, because it's the only real opportunity we're gonna get. And also, while we're here, boom, finally can get that. Can go to places that Sonic can't. I always like how the different games, it's like, it reminds me of how, like, South Park has never had a consistent map out of the town's location. It always just they just kind of transition from location to location. I like how in the Sonic series, they've never had a consistent world map of what Sonic's, like, living where, like, Sonic's hometown, like, where he puts down roots, what the layout is. And, like, Tails' workshop. Tails always has a workshop, but where that workshop is always kind of is dependent on game by game, and I always think stuff like that's really funny.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Sonic and Tails.
It's Eggman!
Once again, the Rochambeau style,
I am Dr. Robotnik,
where
the most cunning scientific
we see a different version of the cutscene depending on who we're playing as.
Yeah, right, Dr. Eggman.
Enough.
In Sonic's version, he just says, well, if it was in Sonic. And in this, he says, it's Sonic and Tails.
That usually means trouble coming from you.
Don't even try to.
And again, I feel like the difference in the perception...
Or else what, huh?
Or else I'll take it from you.
I like how Tails is talking all big, or else what? In his version of the cutscene, he has a little bit of bravado to him because he's standing next to Sonic. You know, he has with Sonic by his side, he has the confidence. Because, I mean, you can imagine that Sonic is the one who's pulling the heavy lifting here. Like, I can see Tails, like, helping out during this fight, like he did in the old games, and also flying around makes it really embarrassing. But, in his recollection, Tails isn't the one who fought the Egg Hornet. I mean, come on. That's a gameplay convenience, but, like, I do like how the framing of Tails being the focus character changes some lines. And what's funny is, during this fight, while we're flying, he won't steer into us like that, so you can kind of cheese. You can kind of cheese the attack pattern a little bit, which is really funny. Also makes avoiding the missiles way easier. Whoa. And that kind of informs a bit of Tails' character, the fact that that's how he saw this interaction. Where Dr. Eggman was saying like, oh, it's Sonic and Tails, and he's the one giving the snarky lines.
Yeah!
Because Sonic's right there. It's like how in a cartoon you'll have those, like, a character remember events differently, where, like, in their flashback, they're like, oh yeah, and then I beat him up, and then we went and had ice cream. When in reality, they might have cowered, and another character was the one who dealt with the confrontation.
That was just too easy.
Gotcha!
And yet you still get snatched out. That's actually even more pathetic in this version. In Sonic's version, Sonic fought him, and Tails got snatched while he was coming up. In this version, Tails beat Eggman, and then he still got snatched by the very person he just beat up because he wasn't paying attention. So Tails' version actually reflects even more negatively on Tails than Sonic's version.
Monster!
And now, like, when it's Eggman, he's like, oh, Eggman, like, we're used to dealing with that motherfucker. He can remember in his recollection being like, oh yeah, and then I said, oh, else what? But then Chaos shows up. We've never dealt with this weird shit before. Monster? What? That's scary.
To become invincible, then he will turn Station Square into rubble, upon which I will build the ultimate city, Robotnik.
Again, that's his plan. That's stupid.
Come on.
Come on.
Thank goodness they're gone. Good riddance.
We can't let that monster get any bigger. It could get ugly.
You're right. Chaos must be stopped. And he can be if we keep him away from more emeralds, right? So what do you say, Sonic? Let's find the Chaos Emeralds before Eggman does.
Again, like, the framing of these scenes from Tails' perspective kind of imparts a lot about his character, doesn't it? And that's pretty interesting. How he's like, yeah, I get, like, fuck Eggman, we've fought him before, we've dealt with him before, Sonic, go kick his ass for me, right? But then Chaos shows up and he's like, monster? Oh, thank God they're gone. I thought we would have to fight that scary-ass thing. And then Sonic says, we gotta go deal with this. We gotta stop them. And immediately he jumps on that. He's like, yeah, you're right. We gotta stop him. Let's find the Chaos Emeralds and stop him from... Like, Chaos must be stopped. Because Sonic said that. Because Sonic has fought Eggman in the past, he's confident in dealing with Eggman. But then Chaos shows up and he's scared of him. But then Sonic says, we gotta go deal with Chaos. So Tails is like, you're right, Chaos must be stopped. Like, what a little kid, right? What a little brother. Where he's like, oh, but then his big brother says something and he's like, oh yeah, I wanna be like him. I gotta live up to my big brother's fucking example. And then you get to his gameplay stage, and Sonic's gameplay stage of this level was just race to the end.
To find a shortcut if you fly.
Tails' version of these stages is a race. This is how Tails was viewing these levels from his perspective.
You made it!
Tails was going, I gotta keep up, I gotta race Sonic, I gotta prove that I'm just as fast and just as good as he is. I want to live up to his example.
Do the dash run and you will speed up for a while.
Also, these races are bullshit, by the way, because they have fucked up rubber band AI. That's really fucked up. Like, watch, I'm gonna get super far ahead of Sonic here. And like, the further you like you can never completely watch. One of these races has this fucking infuriating moment where you get a certain distance away from Sonic, and he'll just slide across the screen to keep up with you, and it's bullshit rubber band AI. But that's Tails' perception of it. Sonic's perception of these levels was, we just gotta get to the end, I gotta get to that Chaos Emerald, let's get through this environment, and let's have this adventure to look at that. That's bullshit. We gotta get to the end and stop Eggman from getting these Chaos Emeralds. Tails' perception of the exact same level is, I gotta keep up with him. We're in a race. Like, he views it as something of a competition. Where he's like, I gotta, like, keep up with him. I gotta live up to Sonic's example. And he's like, I can beat him to the end. Trying to impress him. You know, like, look at me, Sonic. I can beat you to the end here. That informs his character. While Sonic was focused on just getting to the end of the stage and was goal-oriented, Tails was seeing the exact same sequence of events from the perception of, oh, I gotta live up to that example. Like, I'm trying to think of other ways to describe it. Like, I don't want to just keep repeating myself here. Because at this point, that's Tails' perception of their relationship. Sonic's like, yeah, you're my little buddy, he's the sidekick. Tails' perception is, oh, my cool big brother, I want to be as cool as you are. Sonic's so cool, I want to be that cool. Like, Sonic's his role model, you know? So in his own mind, these levels are him racing, trying to achieve that status. Like, putting Sonic on a platform and trying to get up there himself, also. And also, this level of the casino, we didn't see it as Sonic. I probably should have at least fucked up the pinball machine on purpose, at least a little bit, to show this off. This is the sewers underneath the casino, where if you don't win enough rings during the pinball, you will get dropped down into these sewers and have to race to the end and climb back up, and you come out in the shower where you can shower. I didn't show the shower either. I really should have showed that. Wow, that was really fucking short, Jesus. Yeah! I really should have showed that, where you can take a shower in this level as Sonic. Oh well. But again, you only get dropped down in here if you don't get enough rings.
That wasn't too bad.
Whereas in Sonic's version, in Tails' version, that's the whole level. Tails' version he doesn't even get into the casino. It's all, you got dropped down into the sewers and gotta get out. That says a little bit about his character, doesn't it?
What's that?
Ah, you fucking idiot. You dropped the emerald.
The Chaos Emerald!
Oh, I love that animation! Where his arms are all out like that. That's so cute! Ah!
Not tonight!
Eggman! All of Tails' lines are fucking amazing. I love his delivery. Although Tails is a character who I feel like they never really nailed his voice actor until the modern games.
Sonic, what happened to the Chaos Emerald?
Eggman got one of them, but the other one's safe. He must be getting desperate.
Now the emerald count is 2-1 and Eggman's winning. Let's get a move on.
Again, you can see how that's a slightly different line. Cream! You motherfucker! Cream! You owe me $5. Where do you think you're going? Rabbity bitch! I hate you! I'm a fox. Anyway. Tails' voice actor is one where I've never really felt like they nailed it until the modern days. Now, I think Tails has a really good voice. But all throughout the series, I feel like Tails' voice has been, like, not terrible to god-awful. Like, they would give Tails a new voice actor like every other game. It was fucking weird. Like, I know these, like, they used the 4Kids voice actors for a while there. But it was still really fucked up. Like, in Sonic Heroes, Tails' voice actor is fucking atrocious. Because I think in Sonic Heroes, they actually got a child to do his voice. They got a real, like, baby boy, child, human. Like, an actual, like, unaged American. Whatever the politically correct term for a child is nowadays. Like, they actually got a child to voice for Tails. And on the one hand, Tails is a child, so that makes sense. On the other hand, they got a child who couldn't act. So, oops. He has a pretty good voice now. I like his voice actor now, but man, it's really bad. Yeah, of course Tails only remembers the fucking snowboard race down to the bottom. Of course, that's his memory. Especially since in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, he didn't get to snowboard down Ice Cap Zone.
See you later, Tails!
When you get to that level as Tails, he doesn't get a snowboarding section. Only Sonic got to snowboard down to the bottom in that level. As a kid, I was convinced that crashing into the ice, like rocks here on the way down, would increase your speed. Like, if you hit one of these, you would go faster. I swear that's what I thought was the case when I was younger. I don't know if that's actually true. It sounds like it wouldn't be. I don't know if, like, you could actually dig into the game code and see, like, what the algorithm for determining your speed during this short racing section actually is, and what affects it. But as a kid, I could swear that that would make you go faster, so I would go out of my way to crash into as many like ice fixtures as I possibly could on the way down. And again, it's still really funny that, like, Sonic went through all of this, like, obstacle course up until this point. Tails only gets to do the race down. Like, he didn't even remember any of that shit. All he remembers is, yeah, and then we raced down the mountain and I got to the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. No. Very close. Went right over the trigger for the end of the level there. All he remembered was, yeah, I gotta get to the end. You gotta be strong. Gotta be like him. Man, Tails' song is fucking great. All the music in these games are great. I wanna fly high, so I can reach the highest of all the heavens. Somebody will be
the train headed for
waiting for me, so I've got to fly higher. So again, this scene is gonna be different because we're playing as a different character.
Hey, Knuckles! What's up?
Oh, and now his punch is aimed at Tails. What an asshole!
What are you doing, Knuckles?
What are you doing, Knuckles?
Me now? Just hand over the emeralds you have. Quick!
No way, Knuckles!
Once again, I never buy any kind of fucking rivalry between Knuckles and Tails. That's silly. That's really dumb. Like, in Sonic 3, when you play as Tails, having Knuckles, like, fuck around with him, that's really dumb and silly. And in this game, this one fight between Knuckles and Tails is really silly.
Give it your best
It
shot.
doesn't make any, like, that doesn't follow to me.
Oh no.
That doesn't make any degree of sense.
Whoa!
Like, that's
Oh, no,
just,
the
that doesn't
emeralds!
look right at all. That's ludicrous.
And they're all mine.
how the confrontation is between Knuckles and Tails, though. Sonic didn't even have a line. Sonic's not even on screen right now. That's just silly.
Idiot! You know that!
Hey, those are the Chaos Emeralds.
You
No
are
shit,
so
Sherlock.
easily tricked.
All I did was wait for you to bring it to me.
What the heck is he talking about anyway?
Don't you realize when you've been tricked?
Tricked? No one makes a fool out of me.
Way to go, knucklehead!
I do like how even in Tails' story, Tails doesn't have the haha you fucking idiot Knuckles line. Sonic is still the one saying, you dumb idiot, you got tricked, way to go knucklehead. Even in Tails' story, Tails doesn't get that line.
Here, eat up.
Oh no! It's changing again!
Oh no!
Stop this fast!
Once again, I feel like doing this boss fight as Tails is something of a gameplay convenience, because I don't see Tails fighting Chaos. I don't feel... Like, his reaction to Chaos is, oh no! Like, even now, he's like, shit, that shit's scary, Niggs. Like, he's not reacting positively to this whole scenario. Like, maybe helping out, maybe this was like a three-way fight, right? Maybe this was where Sonic Heroes began. Maybe the true version of this fight was like Sonic Heroes, where it's the three of them all working together to fight Chaos. And that's where that, like, got its start. But Tails fighting him alone, nah, that's not what happened. That's silly. Knuckles and Sonic both saw themselves as doing it alone. But Tails doing it alone doesn't seem appropriate. Not in my mind, at least. Fuck. Yeah, like, maybe the true version of events, again, like, reading way too much into it, it's not like, that's clearly not the intent of the authors or anything like that. But the fact that the events we are perceiving is different depending on who the camera is focusing on in a Rochambeau-esque style changes the context of the story depending on who we're following at the time.
Yeah!
And that tells us more about the characters than it does about the events that they're engaged with.